Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GRE out of this book here, practicing to take the GRE general test, the 10th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you're going to find on page number 362, number 14, the penultimate one. Penultimate one is P-E-N and then ultimate, but it's not pronounced penultimate, it's penultimate, which simply means second to the last. Look it up and learn it. It does not hurt to improve one's vocabulary at all. Number 14, the penultimate question, as I said, let's take a look at it. They give you a picture. So again, it's P-E-N and then ultimate, U-L-T-I-M-A-T-E. They give you a picture which we will reproduce, and then we'll read the problem. These points here, they do not give them any name. These are, if it were triangle by itself, these points, these corners, would have been referred to as vertices, which is a plural of vertex. They do not give any names to these vertices. Let's christen them. Let's call them A, B, C. Again, this is another word. If you do not know, look it up. Christen, C-H-R-I-S-T-E-N, which has a literal meaning of baptizing something, but here I'm using it metaphorically as to name something. Christen means to name something. Let's christen them A, B, C. And we are told that we have a ladder which is 20 feet long. A 20-foot ladder leaning against a vertical wall is leaning against a vertical wall with the base of the ladder 10 foot from the wall. So I have not shown that. A to B is 10 feet apparently. Then what happens? Is leaning against the wall with the base of the ladder 10 foot from the wall. The ladder is then pulled 2 feet farther out. The ladder is then pulled 2 feet farther out. And this distance from here to here, they're calling it X. And from here to here, so we have A, we have let's call this A, B, C. Let's call this point D, and let's call this point E. They're telling you the distance from here to here is X. They do not give any name to this distance, which we're going to need to talk about, and it'll be easier to talk about it if we actually have something to call it. Let's call it, since this top distance X, I'm going to call that Y. So again, B to C to all together is X plus Y. And so basically we have two triangles. There are two triangles that we're going to have to deal, and the question is very simple. I'm pulling the ladder towards me, we are pulling the ladder towards us. Distance from A to D is 2. We have pulled the ladder 2 feet away from the wall. The question simply is, how much does it drop from the top? How much does the ladder drop from the top? That's all there is. I do not know what the answer is, but we should know what the answer is not. The answer, of course, there are 4 possible answer choices. There are 4 possible answer choices here. When do we pick answer choice A? A is to be chosen when the quantity in column A is not greater, always greater. You are to pick answer choice B when the quantity in column B is always greater. And we are to choose answer choice C when the two quantities are always equal, and D means that we don't have enough information. Obviously, we do have plenty of information here. All the information that we need here is all there. It's just a matter of figuring out what that X is. By using the two simple triangles, the two triangles that we'll deal with, the two triangles that we will deal with are triangle ABC and triangle ECD, or rather DEC. Those are the two triangles we're going to deal with: ABC, or DEC. I'm going to put those D's right here. D. Where's your D? E. Oh, that made it worse. DEC. It's a matter of using Pythagorean theorem 2 times to figure out the answer. Of course, in the real exam, I would not, this is silly what I'm doing here just to make you understand, to make sure that you understand everything. We're taking way too long to set it up. I'm just taking my sweet time. What I was trying to explain to you is that since all the information is there, it's just a matter of finding out X and Y. Because we have two triangles and 2 variables are missing, we should be able to find out those 2 variables without any problem at all. For example, if you want to find out the sum of X and Y, well, this distance BC squared plus AC squared must equal AB squared, which is the hypotenuse. So we'll have one equation with the X and Y together, and we have another equation with only Y in itself. If you look at the triangle DEC, in this triangle we have this unknown Y, and the base is going to be D to C, and the hypotenuse is again A to D, which is same as 20. The hypotenuse is not changed. It's the same ladder. We have simply picked up the ladder and rotated it a little bit downwards. That's all it is. I'm looking around here for a 1 foot long ruler. Just give me 1 second. There you go. Here's your ladder. The ladder is 20 foot long, and all we have simply done is I'm pulling the ladder towards me, and as I pull the ladder slides down, and now it's sitting like this. But it's the same ladder. So A to B is 20. A to B is 20, which is same as D. So A to B is 20, which is same as D to E. D to E, which is your hypotenuse in both cases. So what I was trying to explain to you is that the D cannot be the answer because there is plenty of information to figure out the things that we need to figure out. D is ruled out. What I'm also trying to make you understand is that most people are going to sit there and say, well, if you pull the ladder 2 feet this way, it should drop 2 feet down there. They do not stop to think even for 1 second. They do not stop to think even for 1 second that if the answer were that simple, if the answer were, I'm speaking purely hypothetically, if it were, hence the word, the conditional word there, if the answer were that simple, why would it be in the problem? Why would that problem be in the exam to begin with? It is too simple. They're not going to say, well, you put 2 feet this way, it's going to drop 2 feet from the top. It's too childish, too silly, it's too infantile to be even on the exam. It was not going to be an exam. It's too simple. I do not know what the answer is, but the answer is not C. It's either A or a B. Let's work on it. Enough of the talk. Let's work on it. There are 2 triangles here. Again, in triangle ABC, if we start out with triangle A, B, and C, we're going to end up working with X and Y together. I don't want to do that. I want to start with the simpler case first. Let's first figure out what Y is. So in triangle DEC, your hypotenuse is D to E. DE squared equals your base, which is D to C, which is 10 plus 2, 12, D to C squared, plus the hypotenuse, which plus the height, which is E to C, which we are calling Y. And we are simply trying to figure out what Y is. So 20 squared equals 12 squared plus x squared, and we just have to figure out the x. I'm going to redraw this triangle DEC. I'm going to redraw it here. Here's your D right here, D, that's your E, and that's your C. From here to here, from C to D is 12. The hypotenuse is 20. This is what we're trying to figure out, and you will see in a second why I redrew it. I did it for a second because there's something going on there. I want to see if you're quick enough to actually pick up on it, but continue here. So bring the x on the one side and bring the numbers on the other side. So x squared equals 400 minus 144. 400 minus 144. Subtract the 2 and you're going to find that x squared equals 256. How do I know that it equals 256? Because 400 minus 100 would have been 300. And if you had to take away 44 from 300, you're going to be left with 56. 100 minus 44 is 56. So we end up with 256, and therefore x is 16. Your x is 16. The question is, how could we have figured out this distance? Not DEC, DEC, I shouldn't say x, your y. Well, let's call it y then. Your y right here, that's what we're solving for. And your y happens to be 16. The question is, how could we have figured it out? How could we have ascertained the value of y more quickly? Is there a shortcut? The answer is yes. This triangle that we're dealing with here, I don't know if you were quick enough to recognize it, that it is actually a 3, 4, 5 triangle. A 3, 4, 5 triangle incognito. It is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. 3, 4, 5 triangle. Incognito. And if you do not know that word again, pick up your dictionary, proper dictionary, and look it up and learn it and expand your vocabulary. Incognito simply means in disguise. It's in disguise, 3, 4, 5 triangle. I'm going to show you in a second how. Why is it a 3, 4, 5 triangle? You see, this we were given as 20, which is no more than 5 times 4. 5 times 4. This is 3 times 4. This is 3 times 4. This is 5 times 4. So what is the multiple here? This 3, that's very good, 3, 5, we're missing a 4, we got a 3, we got a 5, the hypotenuse, this is 4, this has got to be 4 times 4. It's a 3, 4, 5 triangles times 4. If you take 4 times as large, in other words, if you draw a 3, 4, 5 triangle, put it in a Xerox machine and expand it, enlarge it by 300%, it becomes a 4 times the original size, and that's what we're dealing with here. So that's your y. That's enough of that. We're going to need that information. Y is 16. We're going to need it here. So now in this triangle ABC, A to B is 20. And ABC, B to C squared, B to C squared, which is x plus y. X plus y, which we now know is 16 from here. B to C and then A to C, which we know is 10. So let's do whatever we have to do. So x plus 16 whole squared would equal 400 minus 100, which is 300, which tells us that x plus 16 is square root of 300. The question now is, if x plus 16 is square root of 300, how much is square root of 300? To which my answer would be, how the hell do I know? I do not go around memorizing square root of 300. So then what do? Well, we estimate. We ballpark it. Not just a guess, but some intelligent guess. Well, we know that 16 times 16 is 256. I do not remember what 17 times 17 is. I don't know what 18 times 18 is, but I do know 20 times 20 is 400. If 20 times 20 is 400, see if you can follow me. if 20 20s make 400, then 19 20s should make 380. And therefore 1919 instead of 1920s, 1919 should make 361. This is 300, so 19 is too high. Let's try 18. Let's try 18, see what happens. Let's do it here. 18 times 18. 8 8s are 64. 1 plus 6 is 14. And then 18 another one. Carry 1. Voila, this is 324. 18 squared is 344. That tells me that 300 square root of 300, whatever it is, the square root of 300, I should not have done it here because I need the room. So x plus 16 is square root of 300, which I know that whatever the hell it is less than 18. This is how you write it. 18 with a minus sign on it. 18 with a minus sign on it. If it's less than 18, and since x equals, since this quantity here is x plus 16, therefore this implies that x must be, whatever it is, it's got to be less than 2. Because something less than 2 plus a 16 would give us something less than 18. Therefore x is less than 2. Let's see what it is that they're asking me to compare. I have left no room anywhere at all. Here's our column A, here's our column B. Column A is x, oh there you go, column A is x, column B is 2, and we just found out that x, whatever it is something less than 2. Something less, x is less than 2. Since x is less than 2, the answer is B. Voila, we finally arrived there. But this was not the sort of questions that was meant for everybody. I'm going to take a couple of more minutes to explain to you what GRE is all about if you do not know already. There are two species who take the GRE. People who major in social sciences, such as if you have an undergraduate degree, if you studied as an undergraduate anthropology, sociology, English literature, psychology, those people, when they want to take the master's, when they want to get in the graduate program to get either a master's or a doctorate, they are required to take the GRE. But another species that takes the GRE are the people who have majored as an undergraduate in pure sciences, or some people refer to as hard sciences. People who have an undergraduate degree in mathematics, physics, astronomy, any kind of pure sciences. Well, if you have an undergraduate or any kind of engineering for that matter, doesn't have to be electrical engineering, the engineers, the people with the undergraduate degree in mathematics, people with undergraduate degree in physics, they also have to take the GRE when they want to go to graduate school. But of course, their math skill is much higher than the person with an undergraduate degree in sociology. And therefore, if you are a liberal arts major, your score in math is not going to be compared against the average math score of a person in the pure sciences. Your math score, or for that matter, any score of yours, your performance will be compared against your cohort. This question is meant for people who are shooting for high 700. People who have an undergraduate degree in pure sciences, people who are very good in math, and they can handle all of this thing within a matter of 2 minutes. 3 minutes tops. It is not meant for everybody. Only 27% of the people got this question right. 3/4 of the people who took the exam missed this question. So if this was giving you trouble, if you thought that I was taking inordinate amount of time, let's learn that one as well. Where should I put it? Right here. INORDINATE, inordinate amount of time. If you thought that I took inordinate amount of time, excessive amount of time, unreasonable amount of time to do the problem, and you're sitting there scratching your head that this guy is an idiot, he's taking so long, you don't have that much time to do the problem in the exam, you're absolutely right. You do not have that much time to do the exam, nor do you, or very rarely you have the time to enjoy your tea while you're solving the problem and breaking a sermon. You don't do all that. One does not do all of this during the exam. I'm just taking my time to make sure that you understand it properly. That's all. So even though you may never see this thing, something like this in your exam, this is only going to show up because these days the exam is computer adaptive. It adapts the difficulty level of the next question based on how you did in the previous one. So only the people who are going to be scoring in 700, they're going to see something like this. Most people, when they sit there, they see easy and medium questions. Even though this is not going to probably appear in your exam, it still does not learn to practice it and learn it because you will learn a lot out of it just by doing it. Even if you struggle it, as a matter of fact, you learn more when you have something that is a little bit more challenging. Doing a problem that is very easily done, you're not going to get much out of it. You want something more challenging. This is it. Okay, so do it with the right attitude. Don't look at it as a chore. Anyway, I'm done giving you a sermon. Okay, Amen. I hope you enjoy. Well, enjoy is actually a bit too strong. I hope you found it helpful. Because unlike I'm pretty sure you have a life, so I would not use the word enjoy. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, I tutor over the telephone, I also tutor over the internet via Skype, and I also obviously do face-to-face tutoring. If there is anything at all that I can help you to prepare you for the exam, for the GRE, please go to my website at www.for4gre.com and send me an email. Or you can go to www.KeshwaniPrep.com and send me an email. Alright? Thank you.